With all that has resurfaced in these past few weeks, there is no doubt that Hollywood is coming down. How did all of these top players like Jennifer Lopez and Jay-Z get involved in such horrific acts that there was no doubt karma would eventually bring about their end? For many years now, Diddy parties were a bit of a mystery to the general population. While photos were taken of these white parties, no one knew what was going on behind closed doors. This all changed with the arrest of P. Diddy and the release of vital information about the case. The internet buzzed with what was revealed. After all, what could one single man do with so many bottles of baby oil? As the situation unfolded, Diddy was undoubtedly proved not to be alone in his devious behavior. The first celebrities that caught the public's eye were those who have been close friends with Diddy for a while now, the prime suspect, Jay-Z. Jay-Z and P. Diddy are the kingpins of hip-hop. There's so much power shared between the two that there's nothing they can't make possible, as is apparent. Besides being close in a business sense, the two have been close friends, often spotted together at all sorts of social functions.
And you see Diddy.
For a person to be willing to work so leisurely with someone so rotten, you can easily come to the conclusion that these two are the same. While Diddy did become an executive earlier than Jay-Z, he's not lacking behind him. Before this whole fiasco started, Jay-Z was a rather questionable figure in hip-hop. Allegedly, Jay-Z used his position and relevance to get rid of the people he deems are in his way. Aside from all his past crimes, one of the most relevant is his attraction to younger people, as he allegedly is not against male company. Most do not know Beyoncé's true age when they met. She says they met when she was 19, which, while still creepy, is legal. Her husband, however, states they met when she was 16. This is concerning, as he is a whole 12 years older than his wife. Beyoncé and Jay-Z are one of the most powerful couples of our time, but I think we may have underestimated just how powerful they are. Recent conspiracies seem to point at Beyoncé as a jealous woman who won't let anyone stand in her way, and Jay-Z is her loving, supportive husband. No one who lets morals rule their life would allow things like murder to happen under their noses. Another person Jay-Z met while she was still young was Rihanna. Their entire relationship from start to finish has been sketchy. She was only 16 at the time a music producer discovered her on her home island in Barbados. He took notice of her, and without any adult on her side, sent her over to the US to perform for Jay-Z and L.A. Reid.
So I was a little reluctant when I first heard the song, and then, he kept going, Jay Brown, he kept being persistent. I was like, what, bring her by. And when she walked into our office, I was like, she just had, it was just something about her. It was just, she had this, it was just something about her. And then she performed the song, and I was like, okay.
This poor girl had to perform in front of two grown men until 3 a.m., with Jay-Z's ominous words looming over her head. There were two ways for her to leave his office, and it was either through the door after signing her name on a dotted line, or out the 29th story window.
Relief.
But then he said something about a window and a door or something.
Oh, then he said, he did it one more.
I did a lot of homework on you, Miss Lady.
He said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
Of course, being young and scared, Rihanna signed the deal, becoming a huge hit right out the gate. Watching Jay-Z's interviews about Rihanna in the moment she signed her contract, you can clearly tell he's fabricating a much tamer story than Rihanna portrayed.
So we signed her that night. We didn't let her leave the office.
Really?
The 3 a.m. was when that contract got signed. So from the meeting around 3, 4 in the afternoon, we signed it by 3 a.m.
Wow.
That day. I was absolutely certain.
Jay-Z may be a scumbag, but he knows how to pull strings in the industry to make sure certain people will become stars, no matter what. It's believed that her signing this deal with him was what led her to attending Diddy's freak-off parties. This is no shock. He would expect one of his most successful artists to attend prestigious events with him, and a great buddy of his. It is suspected that the reason she stopped making music entirely was exactly this: to get away from Jay-Z, Diddy, and their pedophilic empire. If this isn't enough to convince you that he's a bad guy, then look no further than the words of those who were in the eye of the storm. Those inside the industry know what people like Jay-Z act like when no camera's rolling.
Do you think Jay-Z is scared right now?
Oh, he's terrified. He's terrified. He's losing confidence everywhere. He would just laugh and walk away. That's Sean Carter. He doesn't own up to anything. Ever. Gaslights you right in your face. He's a sociopath. He doesn't have any real feelings or emotions. Everything is transactional.
There's little to no doubt that she's telling the truth. You have to be a certain type of person to succeed in the industry, and Jay-Z is certainly that type. As long as you're okay with bringing about human suffering, then Hollywood will welcome you with its arms wide open. We used to talk about it metaphorically as signing a deal with the devil, but it's starting to seem like the reality. Success requires sacrifice. As this case unfolds, there will be many celebrities who will be exposed for their sins. There will also be those who will prove to be the victims who never managed to get away. I'm sure there will be many familiar but surprising names on Diddy's list, and it will shake the world. It's recently been revealed that these tapes are already circulating in Hollywood, with certain people trying to sell tapes to the same celebrities that starred in them. While we still don't have the knowledge who's in these tapes, the celebrities we're talking about in this video probably took center stage in some of them. The best anyone can do at this point is speculate, and most are only taking educated guesses.
There have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video.
If you've enjoyed this video so far, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. This short clip of Diddy's last birthday, which was celebrated with a freak-off party, seemed entertaining just a few months ago. But now it's just sinister and downright creepy, like a trailer for a horror movie. This video represents his celebration, but only the ones who were there know how many kids, women, and men suffered for their entertainment. One name we surely won't be surprised to find at the top of the list is singer Jennifer Lopez, Diddy's ex-girlfriend. In this leaked photo, you can see the two lovebirds laying back on a massive amount of pillows. One might ask themselves, just what were those pillows being used for, and why were there so many of them? J.Lo certainly had the answer, and she took a picture with him there anyway. The two had met on the set of a music video, with J.Lo stating she hadn't liked him at first, but shortly after that, she entered into a romantic relationship with him.
But at first, I didn't like him at all. You know, I didn't. I thought he was like, you know, ick. I didn't like him because, you know, Sean and I were very different that way. You know, I was very, like, family-oriented.
She was an upcoming star, and Diddy had already been a big name in hip-hop at this time. J.Lo, as Diddy's girlfriend, attended the freak-off parties, even participating in criminal acts for which both Diddy and J.Lo were arrested. In 1999, they were involved in a shooting, and even though charges were dropped against both parties, it's believed that they were both guilty. Allegedly, Diddy used Lopez as his gun mule, meaning he used her to get the weapon into a New York club. After getting into an altercation, witnesses say that J.Lo handed the gun to Diddy for him to resolve it. 3 bystanders were hurt in the shooting, with Lopez, Diddy, his bodyguard, and Shane Barrow making a run for it, but were ultimately arrested. J.Lo was released 17 hours later, with the other 3 entering a 7-week trial where only Barrow would be sentenced to 10 years in prison. It's believed that he was the one that had to take the fall, so the powerful Diddy would be able to get away with a slap on the wrist.
I was defending him, and he turned around and called witnesses to testify against me, and he contributed. He pretty much sent me to prison.
Barrow is now the leader of the opposition in Belize, completely leaving his old life behind and starting one that, in his words, would make his mother proud. He's one of the rare people who completely tore himself away from the industry successfully, but unfortunately, it came at a high cost. He certainly was able to discern who his real friends were while sitting in his jail cell. Those who were present in the club that night say that Diddy had been conversing with a certain Brooklyn thug, and that soon after, shots started flying. At the time, Diddy was referred to as a flosser, someone who waves money around and behaves like a big shot, so it's believed that this was the reason for the shooting. Someone wanted to show Diddy his place. The witnesses who got hurt in the crime all confirmed that it was Diddy who had taken part in the shooting. One of them ended up with a shot to her face, which she claims had come directly from Diddy's gun. Now with the raid on Diddy's mansion, cases that he thought were long left behind are being dug up once again. This might also bring trouble for J.Lo, who's not been a fan of Diddy in the prior years. In an interview, she was asked if she were able to save either Diddy or her now ex-husband from drowning, who would she choose? Her answer says it all.
You look in the ocean, you see Ben Affleck, and you see Diddy.
I let both those motherfuckers drown.
That's it!
I think that says enough about her current opinion of him, but we cannot forget that she did, at some point, take part in the horrific acts he committed. Besides their legal troubles, their relationship had always stood on shaky feet. There were allegations of Diddy's infidelity, which impacted her self-esteem. She said that that time of her life had been full of ups and downs, and that she and Diddy simply had different views on life in general. But just because she had gotten away from Diddy doesn't mean that she left him in the past completely. All of her wrongdoings would eventually come to haunt her after it was revealed that the infamous tapes of Diddy's freak-off parties were the reason for her divorce from Ben Affleck. Suge Knight commented on the contents of the tapes, saying that they contained clips of Lopez in very compromising situations, all filmed in the late 90s while she was still involved with Diddy. Interestingly, he reveals that these tapes also bring us back to the nightclub shooting, stating that they reveal her true involvement in the crime. The FBI handed Ben Affleck these tapes, making us question their motives. Was their main motive to warn him of his wife's misdemeanors? Those close to him say these tapes damaged their relationship, making it irreparable. It's certain that he, as a family-oriented man, would certainly find these tapes revolting, especially now as it's being revealed what else went on at the Puff Daddy mansion. And who can forget the time Diddy bragged to his audience about adopting a little white girl? The greatest question looming over our heads is what happened to this girl, and how did she end up where she did?
You look in the ocean, you see Ben Affleck, and you see Diddy.
I let both those motherfuckers drown.
That's it! J to the L, give me 5. Hello!
There's no doubt that as time goes on, more celebrities who were involved with Diddy in the past will feel the repercussions of their crimes. His after parties were described as wild and often quite illegal, where anything could happen. The shocking piece of news is that every single one of them was filmed, meaning there are hundreds of hours of footage to comb through and possibly just as many celebrities to put behind bars. How this situation will unfold is unknown to us still, but there is no doubt that Hollywood as we have known it so far will be changed forever, and from this example, we can see that not all change is bad. This whole fiasco has revealed the truth about fame and power. The fact is that only a few actually hold the power. Everyone else is just puppets to be played with, even though they themselves might be portrayed as top dogs.
Your parties are the hottest ticket around.
They won't even give me a permit for the parties, man. They don't want me to throw the parties no more. But we ain't gonna stop. We're gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life. You're gonna hear about my parties. They're gonna be shutting them down. They're gonna probably be arresting me.
Diddy said it himself. They didn't want to stop and would push any boundaries set in their way. Thankfully, the law has finally caught up with the dark side of Hollywood. He even predicted his arrest in this clip, knowing he was doing something he had no hopes of getting out of once he got caught. It is possible that we're seeing the way we perceive celebrities change in front of our very eyes. When we think about the way we spoke about these people only a few months ago, you would think they were some sort of different species to us. Many idolized them and exempted them from any wrongdoing. As more and more of these celebrities are being revealed, it will show us just who the people we idolize are when the curtain is closed. I believe that it will change the amount of impact a celebrity has on the world in general, and they'll not be able to achieve stardom as before. Of course, there'll always be those celebrities we like to see in our media, but instead of them being exempted from any law, they'll be held to the same standards as everyone else. Hopefully this will be a teaching moment for all those holding some sort of power in Hollywood. Just because people will pay to see you on stage does not mean you're allowed to commit whatever atrocity you wish. The perfect example of this is Beyoncé, a star in her own right who's been worshipped ever since she stepped onto the scene. But now, as people are putting together the pieces of the puzzle, it seems as though she might be the one behind the deaths and suffering of multiple people. It's believed that she carved her way to being a star by going through others who were destined to be bigger than her. Of course, she got what she wanted. But as things are moving along now, she might have to pay a very steep price. And those stars who didn't want to take part in these hellish activities might just be made to, as Hollywood is unfortunately a dog-eat-dog world. So you have two options: either be unknown, but a decent human being, or shine bright in the eyes of the public, but be a disgrace. Which would you choose? If you have anything to add, be sure to leave your opinions in the comments down below.